Pesticides play a vital role in protecting crops, so it's important to store them correctly to keep people, animals, and the environment safe. In this video series, we'll explain the most important rules that farmers and farm workers must follow when working with pesticides. This video looks at how pesticides should be stored on a farm, what the law says, and why it matters for your safety and the environment.
In terms of the location, farm pesticide stores must be erected above the 50-meter floodline or preferably above the 100-year floodline. The store should have available electricity and water and be at least 500 meters from open water resources and boreholes. Preferably standalone, but if this is not possible and part of multiple other stores, then the pesticide store must be segregated or separated by a firewall. All combustible vegetation within 50 meters of the pesticide store must be removed.
The pesticide store must be easy to reach, especially for delivery or emergency vehicles. It also needs to be at least 500 meters away from places where people live, work, go to school, or get medical help. The floors should be made of sealed concrete. The walls must be strong, made of bricks or steel. The doors and gates must be lockable and made of steel. Windows should not open. Their only purpose is to let in enough light so you can read labels and see safety signs clearly.
When it comes to ventilation, farmers can consider natural or mechanical options. The ventilation system must ensure thorough flow of fresh air circulation throughout the pesticide store. Spillage containment in the form of a curb, sill, or bund wall that can contain 110% of the total volume of pesticides stored is a requirement for farm pesticide stores. Typically, bunding forms the perimeter of the floor and is at least 200 millimeters high and 110 millimeters wide. When it comes to electrical lighting, these must be flame-proof and of the LED type. In essence, all electrical equipment and fittings needs to be installed and certified according to the SABS standards by a qualified master electrician issuing a certificate of compliance, or better known as a COC. Overall, when it comes to the structural frame of the pesticide store, no aluminium or wooden types are to be used.
Next, we'll focus on the different types of pesticides and how they should be stored. It's important to stack and separate them the right way so accidents don't happen and crops don't get damaged.
Your herbicides should always be stacked below your insecticides and fungicides. This is important because if herbicides are on top and spill onto insecticides or fungicides, crop damage may be expected. Further, your solid formulations such as granular or wettable powders, for example, must be kept separate from liquid formulations. All pesticides within the store must not be placed on the floor or stacked against walls, but rather on pallets, racks, or shelves depending on the pack size. It remains crucial that all Group 1 Category B products, commonly referred to as highly hazardous pesticides, or more recently your restricted agricultural remedies, are kept behind lock and key within the pesticide store, a procedure commonly referred to as double locking by farmers. Remember, there is to be no animal feeds or inorganic fertilizers in a pesticide store, the reason being that these may absorb pesticide fumes.
Flammable or combustible liquids such as fuels present a fire risk and must not be kept in the store unless stored separately behind a firewall. Correct pesticide stock should be well managed to prevent accidents and avoid product expiry. Older stock should always be in the front to follow FIFO stock rotation, meaning first in, first out. Keep detailed records. A responsible person must manage the inventory. Prohibit food, smoking, and vehicles inside. Place bilingual warning signs at entrances in the specified format. Now we'll cover the required external warning signage for pesticide stores. Warning signs reading storage of dangerous goods, unauthorized entry prohibited or similar must appear in red lettering with a height of 72 centimeters on a white background in English and one other language indigenous to the area and must be displayed at each entrance. These signs must also include a list of contact details, that of the farm owner or manager, 24-hour poison info centre, local police, hospital or clinic, ambulance and fire services. Additionally, signs prohibiting smoking, flames and eating or drinking must be displayed.
Finally, it remains important that employees are trained in the meaning of warning notices in terms of the purpose they serve from a health and safety perspective.
Now let's talk about safety signs that must be inside the store.
Symbolic safety signs generally required for the inside of a pesticide store includes highlighting the positions and type of fire-related equipment, for example, fire extinguishers, fire hoses and fire hydrants, as well as signs to highlight the first aid kit, wash basin, eye wash bottle, safety shower, spillage kit and so forth. In addition, symbolic safety signs need to highlight areas where protective clothing or equipment is required. When it comes to the directional safety signs, these are used to highlight escape routes and emergency exits. Finally, all symbolic and directional safety signs must be relevant, clearly visible at all times, where all employees receive training in the meaning of the symbolic and directional safety signs in terms of the purpose they serve from a health and safety perspective.
Outdoor access control is critical. Let's look at how to keep the outside of the pesticide store safe and secure.
Whether a farm pesticide store is part of a larger complex of buildings or standalone, the perimeter of the property needs to be protected by means of a 1.8 meter high wall or a fence. Furthermore, the number of gates in the perimeter wall or fence must be the minimum necessary to allow normal farm operations. Overall, this prohibits free access from animals, public or any unauthorized elements.
Access control inside is the last way to prohibit unauthorized access.
Access into the pesticide store, unless authorized by the farm owner, manager, supervisor or responsible person, must be prohibited at all times. Strict access control must be maintained at all times with a visitor register, visitor cards or regular security checks. Overall here, an appropriate entry pass system needs to be implemented.
Thanks for watching. Remember, safe pesticide storage starts with informed practices. You're welcome to reach out with any questions or visit CropLife SA for more tools and training.